Hello everyone. This video walks through completing Packet Tracer Assignment 11.2.4.5, Configuring Secure Passwords and SSH. This Packet Tracer assignment is a part of the Cisco R&S Introduction to Networks curriculum, version 6. Now in this lab assignment, we're going to go through our, what I like to call housekeeping commands, where we're doing our passwords for console and lines, like VTY lines, remote access, our privileged exec mode passwords like enable secret, our banners, messages of the day, configuring host names, encrypting our plain text passwords and all of our passwords in general. And then we're going to look at configuring SSH. If you remember, when we set our line VTY passwords, which is for remotely logging in, even though we're setting up a password, we know that there are ways to sniff network traffic. Now, Telnet is what is used by default if you don't set any special type of way for the VTY lines to log in. That is highly insecure, or highly not secure. It is, if you were to use a program like Wireshark or anything, even if you do your service password encryption command, that only encrypts it on the device itself. So if we look in show run, we can't just in plain text see what it is. It is still sent in plain text from device to device. So if you're logging in remotely to your router or switch, it is communicating with that device in plain text. So if somebody were to really hone in on your network traffic and try to look at the specific packet that is making that exchange between your computer and your router or switch that you're remotely logging into, it will show them in plain text exactly the password you type. Now SSH is more secure, okay? So it uses an encryption method to encrypt it from end to end. So that's what we're going to use, and we'll show you how to configure that in this lab. All right, so let's get to configuring. So right here we've got a NetAdmin PC. We've got a switch 0 here in between our main router. Now this router can be very far away. It doesn't have to be this close, but we are connected to it via console cable. Remember, that's out of band. So you see here that we don't have a good connection here between the router and switch. So we're going to be using the console connection here, okay? So I'm going to click on the NetAdmin PC, go to desktop, terminal, click OK. And we should see my configuration for my router up here. So I'm going to do enable configuration mode. And it says configure IP addressing on NetAdmin according to the addressing table. So let's do that first. IP configuration, NetAdmin 172.16.31.2. 255.255.255.0, and my subnet my default gateway is 172.16.31.1. Remember, that should be the IP address of some router you are connected to for the default gateway. Okay, now we'll do our console. Okay, and it says configure IP addressing on the main router. Okay, and enable the interface. So we're going to do interface G00 here, IP add 172.16.31.1. So that IP address of this interface here, okay, is the default gateway for everything in this subnet. Remember that on a router, any interface that you have creates a whole different subnet, okay? So that is going to be the default gateway. And then no shut for no shutdown to turn it on. And now we'll see this start to negotiate green, okay, which is good. Green does not always mean connectivity, but in this case we will, because we have set our default gateway correctly on the PC and we have configured the IP address correctly on the gigabit Ethernet interface, okay? Now let's continue. Okay, configure the host name. Right now it says router, so let's do host name main. It says to encrypt all plain text passwords, so we do service password encryption. put my dash in the wrong place. It's always good that you can use the tab key sometimes to finish it out as well, in case you don't remember where dashes are and things like that. Now it says set a strong secret password of your choosing. Does not really matter here. So you could do enable secret. It says a strong one, so I'm going to go along with that and do $3 for the ECRET for basically a spelling secret. That's my password. The password is actually going to be secret, but it's spelled $3CRET. Okay. Now let's do our SSH configurations. Okay, so that's our kind of main stuff. We don't have a console password or anything, but we could set one up. So now we're going to do the IP domain. So IP domain name main.com. Okay. Remember, that is case sensitive. Now we're going to create a user of your choosing with a strong password. So we're going to do username. We can type in any user here. So I'm going to do Cisco admin. That's going to be my username, all one word, Cisco admin. And then password is the username and password. They don't change there. What changes is what your username actually is and what your password actually is. So for our password, I'm just going to do the same thing. So $3CRET. Okay. Then, so I've got the IP domain set up. That's important, the domain name. Then a username and password. Okay. You see that stored locally. Okay. Then I'm going to generate the crypto key. So I'm going to do crypto key generate RSA. It says how many bits in this module. By default, if I were to press enter again here, it's going to use 512. Okay. It says block anyone. Let's see, press enter to continue. So I guess I just want to use the default there, 512. So you could change it to 1024, 2048. It goes in those type of increments. Okay. Now it says block anyone for 3 minutes who fails to log in after 4 attempts, basically failed attempts within a 2-minute period. So it's kind of like trying to prevent somebody from doing like a brute force into your account. So just try, like, you know, testing and trying. If they do that too many times, basically 4 failed attempts within 2 minutes, it's going to block them from even logging in for 3 minutes. Okay, so log in block for 180. That is a 3-minute period, 60 seconds. Basically, that's 180 seconds. Attempts 4, basically 4 attempts. Okay, within 120 seconds, 2 minutes. Okay. So anytime anyone does 4 failed attempts within 2 minutes or 120 seconds, it's going to make you wait for 180 seconds or 3 minutes. Okay, that's how that's read. Now we do our normal stuff. Line VTY04. Remember, the 04 comes from channels. If you're the first person to log in simultaneously, you could have 5 users. So the first person gets channel 0, second one channel 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so 0 through 4, you got 5 people you can log in as. All right, so we'll do transport input SSH. This is different. Before we would just do password, whatever it is, like Cisco, whatever, and then log in, right? Here's a little bit different. So we are still logging in remotely, so line VTY04, but we use transport input SSH. That's telling it you are not going to use Telnet. You are going to use SSH here. And then log in local, because we set up a username and password on the router locally. Okay, and we have to do that. Okay, so we'll exit out there. And now we're going to save, copy, run, start. Oh, sorry. Do copy, run, start if I do it from here. Okay, save our configurations. Alright, and it's only given us 94%. Let's go check results and see really quickly. I may have missed something else going along. Modules or bits. Yeah, that's. I thought it may want more. Let's see here. Generate 1,024 RSA keys. That's my fault. So let's go back here. So I'm going to do crypto key generate RSA. Do you want to replace them? Yes. 1,024. Press enter. Okay. So we want to generate them at 1,024. Now you see we have 100%. So that also shows you how you can go back and regenerate them. Just say basically, yes, you want to replace them. All right. So, and I thought I saw that in there. It was just my fault. My apologies for that. So that shows you again how we can use and force. We can still log in remotely, but it forces it to use SSH instead of Telnet. Okay, so that completes this lab, and hopefully that'll show you how you can securely allow people to log in remotely.